What is going on, guys? Carter Wajenko here from the Tackle Box. Today we're going to be talking about fishing a Keitech, and we're going to be fishing it in a very specific style that I'm sure not a lot of you guys have heard of. So make sure to tune in and let's get started. Alright guys, so today we're talking about fishing a Keitech or just any small swim bait in general. Right here we got a 3.8, and I'm going to be talking about a style of fishing with this bait that not a lot of you guys have probably heard of. So we all know the Keitech is one of the best swim baits on the market by far, featuring a ribbed body as well as a large back tail. Is going to allow for that bait to swim in the water and have a very wide paddle. It's going to be great for catching fish in dirty water, clean water, and anything in between. It's really a great bait, and it comes in a ton of different colors and sizes to match what you guys need. Right here we just got a 3.8 in green pumpkin, and I'm going to be talking about a style of fishing that is more directed towards ponds, shallow fishing. You know, a lot of you guys are fishing in the pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn right now, and a lot of those fish are aggressive. They're chasing bait, they're up shallow. A lot of them are focusing on brim, and this little bait right here is a great imitation of bluegills, and especially for fry garters or post-spawners, this is going to be a great choice. But the way I like to rig this is on just a weedless swim bait hook. What I like to do with this, you know, a lot of guys will put these on the back of a swim jig, a chatterbait, spinnerbait, and go down the bank. And fishing as a co-angler, as well as fishing in Illinois, you know, the fishing is very tough around here, and you really have to adjust with your baits, your presentation. And this is just something that I found that has done really well behind people who are throwing those moving bait. You know, this is just a very finesse style bait, and I'm going to show you guys how to fish it here. So right here we're at the pond, as you guys can see behind me, and this one's got a little bit of bank grass. It's got hydrilla mainly, and the way I like to fish this is really, you know, it's really versatile. I mainly like to fish it around grass, but it will work around pretty much any kind of targets that you guys fishing: riprap, wood, laydowns, anything that's in shallow water. You know, it's not too heavy of a weight on the bottom. I believe it's 1/8 or 1/16, and it's going to have a really slow fall. So you can fish it in deeper water, but anything 5 feet or less is going to be ideal for what I'm trying to do with this bait. And there's a couple different ways I like to fish this. So the first one that I'm talking about is just swimming it through the grass. So we pitch that Keitech out, and as you guys can see down this bank, there's a couple of grass clumps. And what I like to do is, a lot of those fish will hang on this isolated cover. So we have these different clumps here, and you know, there's just the basic slow roll. You can just slow roll it past these clumps, and those fish will eat it, as well as fishing it through the grass. So up in La Crosse in the summer, we get a lot of mats, and we have very, very thick grass. It's not like what I'm looking at right here. And how you're going to want to fish that, you know, fishing it very close to the top, especially when you have conditions where those fish can chase. So cloudy, you know, wind, and those fish are a little bit more willing to come up for that bait. You know, fishing it over the tops of mats can be a really good alternative to fishing a frog. And then another way I like to fish it, you know, just dragging it on the bottom. Those fish are really lethargic. It's a great way, as well as stroking it. So you'll let it sink to the bottom, pop it up, let it sink to the bottom again. And any fish that is, you know, staring at that bait or looking at it and you pop it up is going to be a great way to cause a reaction strike. But that's pretty much just the main ways I like to fish this bait. You know, not a lot of guys are going to be throwing this in the spring. They're going to be focusing mainly on, you know, your crankbaits, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, stuff like that. And this is a great moving bait. You know, when you might be fishing as a co-angler or fishing in a pressured area, it's a great way to catch them just on this weedless hook. And the setup that I like to use for this is the Dobbins Sierra 733. You know, gives me casting distance, and it's a fairly light rod. The 2-power is also great as well. Really just any light rod in the 7 to 7'3" range is going to be great, paired with a SLX DC with 10-pound line on it. I'll run fluorocarbon anywhere from 10 to 14 pounds most of the time. Maybe braid to fluoro if you guys are fishing around grass, like very thick grass. And then gear ratio, really just depends on what you're trying to do. Right here I got a 6.3. If you want to fish it a little bit faster, you can go all the way up to 8.1. The gear that you need for this is really just something with a light rod and a little bit lighter line. The reason that I like to have this Keitech in that muddy water, I fish muddy water a lot, that tail is going to swing a lot, and those ribs are going to displace water as it's coming through the water column. So it's going to be easy for those fish to track that bait, as well as in clear water. It's very natural, it's soft, it's salted and scented. They are a little bit more expensive, but it is a great bait, and you get what you pay for with this bait. But that's just a couple different ways I like to fish this Keitech. If you guys want to check this bait out, definitely check the link in the bio, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Tackle Box. Thank you.